just the buttons for your phone.
Oh.
It won't show in the.
Oh, it says live. That's how you know when you're live. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Then I'll just wait for people to like come on.
We give them a few minutes because you know when your phone goes ding.
Yeah.
Do you have that set up?
Mine just went off, yeah.
Yeah. So in a few minutes.
So a new thing I've noticed is little profile pictures will pop up in the top right hand corner to show you who's watching.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah.
Cool.
We're late. Up. Somebody's here. Is that you,
Just
Jordan?
No, actually it's not. I get on there.
You don't have to. Yeah. They'll start getting on here. We're running late. I was yapping.
Mm-hmm. No, you were telling stories.
Well, they were the truth, Carrie.
Right. Well, truthful stories. They were fairy tales.
Oh yeah, because mine just popped up. My profile picture.
Of course, I don't know. They were about Scott saying.
No, those are always going to be truthful.
Right.
Right? I lived in a fairy tale world with that for a long time. Finally, truth came.
There you go. Changes everything.
Like a shovel.
All right, well, we're going to get started because we're running late. I'm sure people will start popping on as soon as they realize their phone's going off. Welcome to our Bible study tonight, everyone. I'm Vicki. Everyone remembers Mercedes. Oh, you're on your phone. What do you?
No, my husband texted me. I need to make.
Now you sound like me when Miranda called that night. Is that
Wow,
a
that
two-page
is a long
text?
Yeah, that can wait. That's not important.
Not
Really?
important.
It's one of those. Can you go to the store and get me this and this?
Oh,
And
okay.
this?
Oh.
Yeah.
I was like, that was
It's
like
like when you
it
get done
might
with the
be-
wow moment.
I want to
might
say
be important.
not
I knew all
important.
this, and you listed everything.
But this isn't important. This
That's what I
long
was thinking.
text
I was
message.
panicking for her.
I know. I was like, is he in a wreck?
I know. I was like, okay.
That's why
No,
I
I
was
just need
double checking
cheese,
to make sure
bread.
everything was fine.
Oh, okay. All right.
No rags.
Anyways, welcome to tonight's Bible study. We are starting late because I was too busy telling a truthful story. And
Not a fairy tale.
not a fairy tale. I'm Vicki. Everybody knows Mercedes. She's off her phone now. And tonight we are very blessed to have the wonderful, beautiful, and the most talented Miss Carrie Stanley. To be honest with you, Carrie, I never thought we would get you on here.
Really? Okay.
That was the best response.
I know, wasn't it?
I mean, it's not that I didn't want to be here. I mean,
I just, I don't know. I've asked so many,
people to do it.
yes, and women on staff, and everybody's like, no, I don't do it. No, I don't do it. But yours has always been you've had something going on or something was, so, but
Well, on Thursdays is usually a long day for you anyway, right?
Yes, that's my longest day here. Actually, I
Thursdays.
didn't actually leave here today until almost 4:30.
Mm.
So
that's when I got off work today.
yeah,
Don't you get off usually at 12?
No, not anymore, dear.
so they changed the
I'm back 8 to 4:30,
Mm.
and then I have to drive from downtown. It's just wonderful. But
Amazing.
I wonder if the people watching wonder who the disembodied voice is.
the voice on the side, they ought to know it by now because Jordan's on Saturdays. With,
Yeah, because
They should be used to her voice.
so they ought to know her voice. They will see her face. She's going to be one of our guests in a couple of weeks, so they will finally get to see
Sweet.
Jordan. So just wait, she's coming. But anyways, so tonight we have the wonderful and beautiful Miss Carrie Stanley. Like I said, she is the senior pastor's assistant. She's actually the senior assistant to the pastor.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Carrie's also been coming and being a member of this church for 13 years. And I have to tell you, Carrie, I want to apologize because we were supposed to have had lunch way before Easter Sunday.
Okay.
Because we went and had lunch months ago.
Right.
And then we were both like, we got to do that again. Yeah, we need to do that again. And then we text each other and it's like, we need to have lunch. Yeah, we do need to have lunch again.
And then we don't ever do anything.
We will eventually, I
We'll
promise.
do it.
We'll do it.
You're busy, I'm busy, so
Maybe we ought to just do dinner and get David and Scott involved.
there you go.
That
They
would
can
probably.
talk about the cars.
Oh, that because they love
Not the
talking
fairy tale cars, the real cars.
The real car. Let's talk about my fairy tale. I didn't tell a fairy tale. I'm telling myself I told a fairy tale. Anyways, we've asked Carrie to either give us a verse or verses that she would like to study or her go-to verse. So, Carrie, what verse or verses have you chosen for tonight?
I chose John 14:1, and then also chose John 16:33.
All right. Mercedes, will you read the scripture, please?
Do you want me to read both of them or one at a time?
Do you want to do both, or do you want to do one and
Let's
discuss
do one at a
it?
time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alright, John 14:1. Your heart must not be troubled. Believe in God, believe also in me.
Well, that just is straight to the point.
Yes.
It's hard to do, though.
It is. What I know for me, I know recently I've been struggling. Well, we all struggle with discouragement, but for me, it's been very recent over the past several years, actually, on and off. And for me, this one was my go-to because when I read it, it's literally like a command for me because he says, must not. We must not be troubled. And when I get discouraged, I mean, the biggest thing that I do when I'm discouraged is I literally lose sight of my focus. I lose, literally I allow my faith to be choked out. Because if you're having discouragement, then you're literally replacing your faith almost, or you're not seeing faith, you're not trusting, you're not believing. And so that was why this was my go-to. And it says, must not, and he literally says that that's a command. And for me, when he's commanding it, I need to sit up and I need to listen. I need to take a different direction. I need to stop literally wallowing in the discouragement, and I need to change my actions. Because if I'm discouraged, that means I'm not trusting in him. My faith is weakening.
But who doesn't?
Oh, agreed. Definitely.
Who doesn't waller?
Yeah, that's true. And I just have to remember, though, I think for me, when I start to wallow, I need to make sure I don't stay there. I think it's when we don't fight hard enough to get ourselves out of the pit, you know what I mean? So, it's really funny because when I'm discouraged, I forget about his promises. I'm so focused on what I'm discouraged about that I'm missing what he's trying to tell me. So it's funny, you don't be discouraged by what you see, be encouraged by his promises. So that was something that I loved the most about this verse and what it was telling me. Because when you're discouraged, you're focusing on what you're seeing. You're not focusing on what your faith is telling you or what you should be doing. So, and that can be really, especially when it's something in your life that's, whether it's your family or someone in your family that you're discouraged by, whether it's someone you love, because it's usually someone you love that causes the most discouragement too for you.
Yes. Yes.
Yep.
And the most pain.
Yes, exactly.
And you want to choke them out.
Right. That is true. So you don't want the discouragement to cause you to sin either, which would be, be angry or just completely allow it, like I said, to choke out your faith, and then you become more focused on what you're discouraged by or what you're seeing than what he's actually trying to show you. So that was where I went to with that verse. So.
But when it's somebody that, okay, let me ask you this.
Mhm.
when it's somebody that you love, like you said, because that's what's most hurtful.
Mm-hmm.
What do? Do you pray for them to help? I mean, do you? Because undoubtedly it's something in their actions, something they've said, something they've done, something that, you see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. And it's not necessarily just what somebody's done to you. It can also be, just because it could be their choices, or it could also be like, death. You're discouraged by someone who's died, or you're discouraged by illness.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody you love could be sick or whatever. But if it's about someone who's hurt you, you have to look past the hurt and decide, if I get discouraged by the pain that they're causing me, maybe I need to look past that pain, and I need to, I have to remember that I need to apply truth or wisdom to that, and maybe I need to be an example for them. Maybe they don't know any better, so I have to be that example. And if I just get so focused on my discouragement that I don't apply wisdom to the situation or to the people that are hurting me or whatever,
Then you're not being a good example.
correct.
Gotcha.
Yep.
I just got through telling a young lady the other day that, because she's discouraged about a lot of stuff going on in her life, and I told her, I said, what you have to do is you have to sit back and you really have to ask God. You have to pray.
Sure.
And say, Lord, what is it that you're trying to show me or teach me?
Because it could be not just them turning that person towards him. It could be him trying to show you something.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. And I have learned so many lessons because he was actually trying to show me
Right.
what I needed to do or what I was doing that didn't need to be doing.
Right.
And that's a whammy.
Yep.
Because then you're going,
Wait a minute. They're the ones that are doing this. They're the ones doing something wrong.
me?
Why do I have to?
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
Yep.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah, very good point.
Deuteronomy 31:8 says the same thing, tells us the same thing. It says, the Lord is the one who will go before you. He will be with you. He will not leave you or forsake you. Do not be afraid or discouraged.
31:8. Is that what you said?
Mercedes loves time Old Testament with me.
That is good, though. That is very
She
good.
loves it.
And John 14:27 says, peace I leave with you, my peace I give to you. I do not give to you as the world gives. Your heart must not be troubled or fearful.
It was funny because in 14:1, that was Jesus talking to the disciples before he was going to die and before he was going to be crucified. And he was telling them, he knew ahead of time that they were going to fear, that they were going to be discouraged once he was gone. And so he was letting them know and commanding them to, to trust and to not fear. So,
Which is what Moses was saying to the Israelites on his parting of parting too.
and it's hard to get discouraged when there's so much against what you're doing, or so much, you can be in the middle of the worst moment of your life, you would think, and the worst thing you can do is get so discouraged that you lose focus on him.
I've been there, and it sucks.
Yes, it
It
does.
sucks finding your way back.
It
Like,
I don't know anybody that hasn't been there.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's like turning around and wanting to find the Reese's Pieces to find your way back. You know?
Exactly.
Did somebody leave a trail for me to go back? And it's not that easy.
Wasn't that in E.T.?
Yes, it was.
Okay.
Yes,
I was like, that was
Thank
E.T.,
you.
right?
Thank you, Carrie. Thank you.
Exactly.
I'm sitting with somebody that gets my...
I watched that that movie as a kid. It made me cry.
I loved that movie too. I liked it. I really did.
All right, Mercedes, let's move on to John 16.
33.
Mm-hmm.
I have told you these things so that in me you may have peace. You will have suffering in this world. Be courageous. I have conquered the world.
So usually when I realize that I need to stop being stupid and quit being so discouraged, I go to this verse and realize that if you just rely on me, if you continue to turn to me, that you will have peace. That you're going to have troubles, you're going to have, like he says, you're going to have things that happen, but be courageous. Discouragement is the lack of courage. It is a lack of courage. And he says in so many verses, be courageous, be without fear. So, and I know without fear we can't have courage, but he always says to have courage. So whenever I'm discouraged, this is one that I always go to as well. And I've struggled with it quite a bit here recently. So just some certain things that have happened are causing it. But I have to remember to continue to rely on him and to still be the example for the others that may not. Because if they see me so discouraged, that can lead them away as well. Oh, well, if she has God or she, is trusting in Jesus, then she's all this, she's so discouraged. Apparently, why do I need to do it then? Why do I need to have that? It's not that great then. It's not helping her. So I need to make sure that I am remaining, a good example and doing what he says for me to do, which is to be courageous.
And oh my gosh, that is so hard.
Yes.
It is so,
It
because
is.
it's,
Especially when you're you're kind of a control. I have some issues with control.
I was a huge control freak.
Yes.
Huge.
So.
And that's when everything in my life changed, is when, and that was one of the things that he kept pounding on me, that I wasn't seeing, that I'm not in control. And he kept saying, Vicki, it's not your world, it's mine.
Yeah, because no matter what, he's going to get his way. So
You're
really,
not in control of this.
Doesn't matter how hard you try.
Right.
I'm still going to do what I need to do.
Just go with it, or you can fight.
Right.
His promises are still going to be fulfilled, and his, purposes are still going to be fulfilled. And there's nothing you can do to change that, no matter.
And he will drag you through the muck until you finally give up. And then when you give up, he will cleanse you off, and you'll say, oh, okay.
All I had to do was this.
Right. And what's funny is it may not go the way you want it to, but he always has. There's always a purpose for it, no matter whether it doesn't go your way or if it doesn't go good or what you believe to be good. There's always good in anything that he does.
Right.
Even if his purposes that are fulfilled, they're always good.
Right. And that's like I've told, I can't tell you how many young ladies I've talked to, but I have told so many of them my life story and things that I've been through and things that I've lived through. And it's like, to be where I'm sitting at right now today and the person I am today, you would have never thought it 9 years ago.
Right?
You would have never, if the person that I was, I'll put it to you this way, if the person I was 11 years ago was to walk into this church, nobody would recognize me.
You were nothing like you are now, huh?
Nothing.
I think we probably were all that way at one time.
I mean, and actually,
Probably a lot worse than what we are.
I work with a lady that's a little bit older than me. She works in a different court than I do, but our offices are right beside each other. And I was telling her a little bit about my history, and she looked at me and she said, Miss Vicki, the person that I know of you today, there is no way that's the person you were. And I'm like, yes, ma'am. Those are things that I used to do. And she's like, can't be. I said, it's only by the grace of God that I stand before you now
Exactly.
and am able to tell you that I went through all that, I lived through all that, but he has changed my heart and changed my life.
Right.
Because I couldn't have done it.
Not
There's
on
no
your
way.
own. Nope.
Mm-mm. So
That's the cool part.
that's the whole thing with the
But
being
imagine what that
discouraged.
testimony is for her. So you're telling her the way you used to be. She sees how you are, and she can't imagine you being that person before. Imagine what that testimony that was for her.
Right.
such an example you are for her.
I work with a young lady that's 30 years old, and she just turned 30, and she's single, and she's never been married, and she's like, Miss Vicki, I just don't know. I said, honey, if it's meant to be, it'll be. And she's like, really? And I looked at her, and I told her some things that I've been through, and she said, there is no way, Miss Vicki. That's what they call me downtown, Miss Vicki. I'm like, yeah, that was me, but not anymore.
Maybe there is something to this
Yeah,
God
right?
stuff, right?
Maybe there is.
So I'd say that's pretty cool.
I mean, my own daughter's Wesley. She sometimes she's like, really, Mom? You're not gonna go off. You're not gonna fall off the handle. You're not gonna,
Yeah.
And
Right.
I'm like, no, I'm not gonna use the energy for that. My energy is more based and faced towards praising the God that I need to be praising and saving the energy for somebody that needs my help
There you go.
with something else.
Exactly.
Not a bunch of nonsense.
Yeah.
But the problem I have is when I'm in the midst of helping one of these people or talking with one of these people, I get discouraged so much.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Because I just want to go, what else do you have to do? He has shown you and shown you and shown you.
And sometimes it's just actually like he's commanding you to do it. It's not about whether you feel it or feel like doing it. You need to just do it. It's an action. It is literally, you need to just do it. Whether you want to, whether you're feeling like it or not is irrelevant. You just gotta do it.
What do they say about feelings? They really don't matter. Do they matter?
Well, they're not good indicators of truth, that's for sure.
No. And we have a whole sermon on that one, though.
Correct.
I'll tell you, because I just need to put this on my board at work and just leave it there. If I didn't work for government, I would.
They won't allow you to put anything.
That's what I was wondering.
Well, I have some things framed, like little pretty things framed.
Yeah.
That's scripture,
Mhm.
but they look like little pictures,
Right.
But when it comes to me writing something,
So like if
on
you
my-
put something on a post-it note or something, they wouldn't want you to have that.
well, this is my board. Like I could
Oh.
put something on my desk, but
Okay.
this is a huge one of those whiteboards,
Oh, I see what you're saying.
and I want to plaster it on there.
Right. They don't want you to be influencing.
Oh no, because it's a government thing. That's like this lady came down there the other day. She walked in her office and she said, "Yeah, how do y'all work down here with no windows?" And I said, "Well, to be honest with you, I worked in a courtroom for 17 years, and there are no windows in the courtrooms at 201 Poplar, so I don't need a window.
That would cause me
I don't-
claustrophobic.
I don't need a window." And she goes, "Well, I walked in here though, and it just feels refreshing in here." And I looked at her and I said, "Really?" And Calvin, the young man that works with me, was standing over because where we do all of our
Shadow puppets.
Think about
certification.
Three words.
I have
First
I have a station where we do the certifications
Planting
at.
seeds.
Well, we have to seal them. But
Oh, I see what you're saying.
yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
so it's right over here close to my desk, and he was standing over here, and he was doing her certification, and she was standing in front of my desk, and I have this big glass sneeze guard thing in front of my desk, and
you could break stuff on there.
yeah, and she said, "Yes, it's very like refreshing in here." She said, "If you don't mind me saying, it's just really peaceful, like spirit-filled peaceful in here."
That's cool.
And I told her, I said, "Well, I don't mind you saying that." I said, "Because to be honest with you, if you don't mind me saying, we talk scripture in here all the time, so that's probably why." And she said, "Really, girl?" I said, "Yes, ma'am."
That's awesome.
And then she just kept talking, and I kept talking, but I never bring it up first
Right.
because I don't want somebody going upstairs telling them upstairs that I'm trying to preach downstairs.
So they know who you are. They come to you to actually.
Well, this was just a customer.
Oh.
And she just said this.
Oh, I thought it was like a coworker.
No,
Okay.
she just came in to pick up her.
Okay.
Yeah. And Calvin,
That's great.
the young man that I work with, Calvin, he started shaking his head. He said, yeah, we get some pretty deep discussions down here about scripture.
That's awesome.
So,
That's
because
good.
the 2 young people I work with are both believers, thank
That's
God.
good.
And I
That's
thank
great.
the Lord for them all the time.
Yeah.
But it is.
It's hard to find that now.
Yes,
So.
yes. Unless you work it.
Evergreen.
Evergreen.
No, Mercedes brought me to church. She's the reason I ended up here. There's always a slight chance of hope.
She was really concerned about you.
Yeah, that was really what it was. I'm glad she was too. Because I needed it.
Or you need to come to church with it.
And then every time I would like not come because I was so scared. Okay, the reason I didn't come at first was because I had never been here and I was scared to drive here and figure out the parking. Because I have anxiety
Well,
and
the
it's so
parking is
stupid.
parking.
Yeah.
Anxiety-ridden parking.
Yeah, so I was like very
Pretty much
nervous. So
park
I
anywhere.
literally did not come for weeks. I don't even know how many weeks. And then my mom finally said she'd go with me. But every Monday she would, so why weren't you there?
Well, when she first came, though, I don't think we had good lines on the parking lot. So
I
it
still
probably
don't
did.
have
We
one
still
in the
don't.
parking lot. What are you talking about?
My mom
They're
drove,
rather
so
cute.
after that first time I was alright. But it was the first time trying to get me here was,
Yeah.
I was
It took a couple weeks.
I would get up, get dressed, be completely ready, and then I go, okay, never mind. I can't do it.
Just didn't have the nerve yet, huh?
We're not that bad. We're actually kind of
No.
easy to get to know.
Yeah, the first time I came here, I was just how Pastor preached, and it was so like a normal conversation instead of feeling like I was being lectured or sitting in a college room and someone's teaching me something, and it's not like I just it felt so much more at home to be talked to like a normal person
Right.
instead of being thrown these theological doctrine diploma people.
Well,
It
he'll
was
throw
just
them out to you. every
oh
once in a
yeah,
while.
but it's still
He doesn't
it's
sound
still
like he's
it's
giving
very
it to
it's
you.
very
Yeah.
yeah it's very like personal level, and that is more what I was looking for. Of course, there's people that prefer the other, but if I'm sitting in class all the time, I definitely don't want to be sitting in another lecture. But
Right.
I was so glad.
We
I
don't tend to
came.
listen probably, when it's someone who's doing like a speech or
Oh,
feels
no.
like
I got
just a
ADHD.
speaker as opposed to
Right.
someone who's actually
Yes.
Sitting and
getting
talking.
on your level and
Exactly.
talking to you.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I got
so.
attention problems already, so I needed someone that was gonna.
It's very true.
It's very true. So I needed someone that was gonna keep me.
Grab your attention.
Yeah.
Well, at least you're not discouraged
Right.
anymore about coming.
Oh, about coming? No, I was like,
She's going,
I was just probably discouraged like 30 minutes ago, but about something. But everybody gets discouraged. It's how you handle it is the important
That's
part.
exactly right.
Yeah. On what level you put it on.
Yeah.
Do you allow it to take up this much of your life? Or do you allow it to take up this much of your
I mean, I'll admit that there's times that I, over discourage myself, but I call you or I text Mercedes. Like, I think it's all you can. If it does get to that point where you cannot handle it anymore, it's all about then you have to take it to the next person.
But don't you see that, though, as somewhat being selfish?
What?
By reaching out?
No, if you allow yourself and you know that you're getting
Oh, yeah.
that deep, don't.
Oh, yeah. Actually, yeah. That's actually turning inward as opposed to turning, towards
Yeah.
scripture or him.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Because then you're more focused on your feelings, how you're, what it's doing to you, as opposed to, helping or dealing with what the actual problem is.
Right.
So,
That's your worldly human flesh
right.
acting on you.
Right. So let's not be selfish.
There you go.
We're all working on it.
I just wish y'all knew and understood how much I love this lady. When I Carrie and I had never sat and had lunch before ever. Never sat down and had a very long discussion about much of anything, except for in passing. And one Sunday I said, let's go have lunch. And I don't know if we went that day or if we did it for the next Sunday, but when we went to lunch, I'm going to tell you what, we got a lot covered.
Yes, we did.
I
We
mean,
have a lot going on. So.
and the thing was that,
I was like, she's probably not going to want to come out with me anymore.
no, because I have felt and
She got a
dealt,
lot of baggage.
I have felt and dealt with exactly the same, some of the same issues
Yes.
that you were feeling and going through.
Exactly.
So, you know, and that's what I tell people all the time. Just because I'm 50 years old and got kids that are grown and grandkids doesn't mean that I can't help
Anybody.
Jaden over there. Or Mercedes. I mean, you
That's
know.
Aisha.
Aisha. I mean, you know, and it's just like, you know, because, and that's what I'm trying to encourage our younger women with interacting with our older women.
Yeah.
Because so many of our younger women deal with so much stuff, and if they would just walk up to some of our older women and say, hey, can I talk to you for a minute?
Yeah. They would learn a lot. And I know it's like very, I mean, I get it. Y'all are like, we don't want to talk to them.
That was never my issue. My issue was more of they probably have more like real problems than my problems. That's how I always saw it. Like,
But
y'all
They
learn-
probably never did what I'm doing, so they would understand.
I learned quickly that was false.
That is absolutely correct.
I've had many discussions with her.
But that was my issue. But I also think a lot of younger people's issue is the vulnerability.
Yes.
Because now, like, in my generation, it's definitely a thing. You don't share feelings, and, like, any kind of showing of weakness, that's how they view vulnerability. When in reality, vulnerability is, that's courageous. Because to be vulnerable and to open yourself up like that, you have to be able to handle hurtful things that people are going to use against you from it.
Exactly.
But in all reality, being vulnerable for me has been more freeing than holding it in, and to the point, to the point that now I'm like, well, if somebody uses it against me, I really don't care. Like, I said that for a reason, and you know that. And if you choose to turn that and twist that into something that it isn't, that's on you and not on me.
Right.
And the people that know me will know what it really was. So.
And it's also a teaching moment for that person that hurt you.
Yeah.
Because you can always still be the bigger person, and it can still be a teaching moment to use wisdom to
And
help
kindness.
that other person. Right.
Kindness and patience, because
Exactly. Mercy.
yeah.
Forgiveness.
Mercy was one I Grace. Mercy
And
was
grace,
something
yes.
and grace that I had to. That was a hard one to learn, but when I did learn it, I was more of a. I had to put myself. Whenever I got discouraged with someone or felt some way towards them that was not appropriate, I'd always say, "Well, what if I was in that situation?" And so then I have to put it in a perspective where I have to understand their feelings, so that it's easier to be merciful and gracious to those people. But then you always still have those people that you're like, come on, you have a problem with everything. Just but you still have to do it.
Not everything in your life. It's like, you gotta be
Exactly.
careful with the word everything.
Actually sitting with one of the older ladies of the church, which we're not older.
I don't know.
We have older women than we are.
That is true.
Okay. We have been commanded, though, to help y'all.
Yes, that's correct.
And God has told us that that's what we're here for.
Come alongside, yes.
Mhm.
So,
Teach the younger ones.
yeah.
Well,
And-
even for me too,
So,
the youth.
right. I mean, y'all are commanded to
Mm-hmm.
help the ones that are younger than you two. Which we won't talk about the nursery department right now.
Why are you looking at me?
Because you're the youngest one sitting in here.
Oh.
But I'm not crawling on the floor.
Anyways. But I mean, that's what we're called to do. And I feel like that's one direction that I'm really trying to get the WOW ministry into doing, is to being more open and being more available for these younger women in our church, because so many of them need us.
Yes.
And we need to be more available, and we need to be more.
I was glad to hear that there was a lot of your age going on the
Mhm.
women's retreat.
Yes.
I was very excited to
And
hear
even
that, because we
younger.
have struggled
Yeah.
to get that to happen
Our
for
youngest is
Yeah.
a long
18.
time.
Yeah, the youngest is 18, and the people
That's
that
cool.
are 18 that are going, that I heard, I'm so thankful they are.
Yeah, they need it.
Absolutely.
Well, I'm just thankful because I'm like, at least they're learning quicker than I did. Like,
Yeah, there's
hopefully
that
we
too.
can save them from those hard times. Like,
Well,
and
and
get it
that's
to
the
them quicker.
But look at the hard times and look where they've gotten you.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? There's a reason why you went through them. And now
Oh,
is
yeah.
the time for you to share that reason. And that reason is because of the grace and mercy that God's given you
Mhm.
and shown you. So that's what I have. I just have many more years than you do. So, like you're trying to prevent them from many, many years.
You're trying to prevent me from it.
Right.
It's so hard.
Right.
Yeah, my goal is to not let you go through what I went through and be as old as I was when I became a Christian. I was in my 40s.
You were in,
Y'all want to
Carrie,
fix all
you're not
this.
but 50
Y'all want to
years
fix
old.
all this before you're my age.
You're not but
That's
50.
the goal. Yeah,
There's six.
I'm older than her.
y'all are not even that old.
Oh, 53 feels old.
That's not, no, that's like, I think my
Sometimes it
dad's
does.
53. So there you go.
Yeah, you know.
I mean, it doesn't always feel 53, but most of the time, yeah.
Just wait till we get to retreat and you'll have to help us get up and stuff.
Yeah,
I mean,
right. Well, she's
That's
gonna
fine.
be in my room, so
Yay, that's
No,
right.
'cause Cindy, yeah.
y'all have to call her in the middle of the night. You need to come help me, get up out of bed.
Honestly, she knows how I am. It may be me.
Okay, well, come help me out of bed.
I'm not very much help either.
Oh, it's going to be so much fun.
I know, I'm so excited.
Well, anyways, see, we went from discouragement to
Ministry.
it goes all over the place. That's why I thank the good Lord above that He's over all of this and not me. Because if I was to plan this, it would flop. Like a pancake from the season.
No, it wouldn't.
Here we go.
It doesn't fall.
Well, Carrie, I want to thank you, and we will have you on again.
Thank you. I
Oh,
enjoyed
it's
it.
already 7:30.
Yeah, it's already after 7.
I can't see what everybody's saying, but
Yeah.
Neither can
I'm
we.
just
It's-
we
blind.
can't either.
It's
That's way too far away
Jennifer.
from me, but-
We can't see you. That's why it's over there.
Okay.
They're here
To just listen. Gotcha.
to be.
We had it to where we were reading the comments and I got far too distracted.
That's me. This is not Q&A. That's for
The
Saturday.
lady started talking about redoing her bathroom.
We'll go back and answer them later.
Yeah.
It was
Send them to
good.
Josiah. So let him do them on Saturdays. That's what you should just do.
Right.
Whatever questions.
If you have
are.
any questions, just check with Josiah. on Saturday.
There you go.
Pastor
Works better with a
Josiah, I'm
laptop,
sorry.
though, for
Yeah.
answering questions, I guess.
Well, yeah, because he can type it,
Yeah.
because he does it. Either he does or she does. Puts
Yeah.
in the verse of where the answer will be.
Oh, you help him on the question and answer thing on Saturday.
Yeah, I have counseling right before. So like at
Gotcha.
1 I have counseling and it's over. At 2
Okay.
usually runs over. But
Yeah,
so,
I've heard you in the background,
Yeah,
but I
that's
thought you
why
were just
I'm
visiting
always
or
there.
something.
That's why
Okay.
I'm always there because it's like you want to stay, and I'm like, might as well. I'm gonna watch it anyway. So.
So now you're
I can either sit in
Live
the
action
parking lot,
Q&A.
sit in the parking lot,
In the
watch it, or
moment.
just be
Exactly.
here.
There you go.
Exactly.
Because you wouldn't make it home.
So you're kind of his helper now, huh?
Yeah, on
Good
Saturdays. I take Char's
Good.
place on Saturdays. It's
Char's
fun,
off.
though.
Work on Saturdays, so
Right.
you're helping him.
So
Good deal.
she cheats you.
No? Remember
Yeah.
that thing that she said about her words?
That was it.
I was trying to
Right,
say
she
she's
just-
here with them. She cheers. That's how it came out.
Yeah.
By the
There
way,
you go.
y'all notice I didn't wear my glasses tonight? I got a new Bible. It's got big words.
I bet they can read it from there.
They are big. I'm gonna have to give me none of those because
I know.
I'm
right?
like, compared
Hers
to
is
yours.
smaller than mine, so I know
It's
because
pretty
I
little.
can't even.
The only thing is
See
that
that.
it's not in a study form. But if this was
It's the same
big
as
print
mine.
in a
That's what I
study
was wondering,
form,
like, there's no commentary, right?
right? If it was big in a study form, could you imagine how thick it would be?
Oh my gosh.
So, I will keep my regular Holman that I have for studying because it's a study Bible. But this one I will use when because I always forget my glasses.
And she has to swap between glasses.
Last week I tried to.
You need bifocals like I wear them.
I know I do.
These are
Last
nice.
week I tried to drive
She's in
with my reading
denial.
glasses.
She is. Next episode, denial.
Thanks, Carrie.
Yeah, discouragement this
Great.
week. Next week, denial.
I do not like that one.
Well, thanks again for being here with us tonight.
I
We
enjoyed
will
it.
have
Thank
you on
for having
again.
me.
We're already starting to book people in May,
Wow.
and then we'll be
That's
working
awesome.
on June. So, yeah, I mean, it's getting to where we actually won't have people that want to come on with us now, instead of us having to pull hair to get people here. You're coming in here.
Wow. It's really great, I promise.
It's fun.
It's not a bad thing.
No, it's not. It's fun.
It's fun.
So now I'm going to take Mercedes and
Jaden.
I guess I'll take.
Jaden.
I'll take Jordan to dinner. I'm gonna take
President.
Jordan to dinner. They want sushi tonight, so we're gonna go have sushi.
You don't like sushi?
Based on the face that she made.
Yeah.
That was a bad face.
It was.
I'm not a fan, but
But that's
okay.
That's
I'm
okay.
very picky about the ones that I like, but
I
ones that I
try-
like, I
try
love.
new sushi all the time.
See, I can't do that. If it's got cream cheese, if it's fried, or if it's raw, I cannot do it.
I don't do raw.
That's like
anything, so,
90% of sushi.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
That's
the
why
ones
I
that
like
don't
it,
have
because I
those
cannot
three
do
things
raw.
are
I don't do
fantastic.
anything raw either.
You're a California roll kind of person.
Oh yeah. If I have, if I don't see wood on there, I'm like, just give me a spicy California roll. We'll just go with that one. But
Now,
it's
what's
so
in
good.
that? I have
Cucumber, crab, avocado, and then they put the spicy mayo on top. It's really like basic, but it's really good.
See,
She's
so that's
judging
something
me.
you might
Is
actually
the crab
use.
raw though?
No, it's the artificial
Okay.
crab sticks.
Yeah.
Oh, artificial.
It's not really like, I guess, processed.
Yeah, it's not like, but
It's not fresh. Well, nothing, you gotta think, nothing
What do you make fake
seafood.
crab out of? I
I
don't
don't
know.
know.
I don't know.
But you gotta,
Imitation crab is what I.
Yeah.
I guess.
But
I have
not
no clue.
artificial. That was the
But you
bad
gotta
word.
think no
That
seafood
was-
here is gonna be fresh, like at all.
Not truly, right?
No.
Because
Not straight out of the
that was
ocean,
quite a good
sweetie.
way.
Well, I know that.
fresh 8
That's what
hours
I'm
ago.
They
saying.
can put
Like,
it on ice and ship it.
it's not the same to me. I gotta be on.
Well,
the
anyways,
beach.
thanks guys for joining us tonight.
Okay,
I'm sorry
let's
we
get
got
talking.
way off topic there with what we were talking about here. We're going to dinner. We would invite Carrie, but she don't do sushi, so
No, I'm
maybe
going
next
home to
time.
spend time with my grandbaby.
Okay, that's
Oh.
you get a pass.
Yes.
Alright.
Oh, well then we gotta go. See y'all later. Thanks, Carrie. Bye, y'all. Thanks.